James and Lacey here from Sweet Sounds of Fighting. Another fight breakdown today. Raymond Ford. So he uploaded this semi recently. And with pro boxing, you're always in for a treat. So 9:09 p.m. Okay, so he's probably training similar time to when he's going to fight. I don't know actually when he is a fighter or anything like that. So we're just going to assume. Wait, he says, oh no, it's just the season. Okay. So it's a training camp, so I'm assuming he has a fight coming up anyway, since it's a training camp video. So we're going to run this through. We're going to pretend this is somewhere in the realm of, I don't know, 4 to 8 weeks out. We're going to make assumptions again. Nothing against coaches, fighters, anything like that. I just want to kind of give a commentary of my opinions of maybe what's happening, why they're doing things, if I think it's good, bad, or whatever. So this looks like a little warm-up circuit, running around the ring, doing some various ladder drills. I've talked many times about ladders. They don't do shit, but just for some kind of little warm up of this, general warm up, whatever. I like this. Some lateral single leg plyometrics, some low level plyometrics through the ladder. Nothing wrong with that. And just for general prep and running around the ring. Okay, we can roll with it. Can't roll with this. Okay. Based on how it's shot, it looks like a circuit, which pro boxers love circuits. I'll comment on these soon. I just want to check what else is going on in this. Okay, we're gonna assume this is a circuit just based on how it's going, and then we'll comment on it like it's a circuit just to make it easier for my thoughts as well on all this. Yeah, with everyone going in the background, it must be a circuit. Okay, so let's assume that's circuit 1 because there's more stuff coming up. Okay, so generally circuit training, you're looking at more of a general, I guess you could say a general physical preparation stage of training. So for example, if he just had a fight and he was kind of coming back to training, maybe had a few weeks off or whatever he's doing, you come back in, okay, we might do some circuit-based training because we can essentially get a general, we can touch everything pretty generally. You get a little bit of that conditioning effect, a little bit of that strength effect, hypertrophy effect just from that circuit. Kind of lets you get back into the routine of things. So in circuits in general, nothing wrong with them. They have a time and place. Circuits like this in fight camp, honestly, make zero. There's not one thing that makes sense about doing a circuit like this, because in a fight camp something like this, the goal is to plug any of the gaps that you may not be getting within boxing training. So there may be certain qualities that you find important for boxing performance that you want to maintain or improve during this time. And 2, you want to be able to do work that is going to complement your boxing in this time and not provide so much fatigue that it's going to negatively affect your boxing. Now, I'm not saying this circuit in particular causes too much fatigue because it's pretty low level crap. But if you are doing a harder circuit, there could be that issue. So we've got like a squeeze dumbbell incline press with like 15-pound dumbbells for reps. Nothing really to say there. Single leg hip bridge. Pretty like this is like almost like a warm-up kind of various exercises, right? Because they're not exactly loaded heavy enough to give the adaptation of strength, and they're not loaded. Well, they're not done in a way if you're going to train for hypertrophy. But at this point in time, bodybuilding style training shouldn't even be on the list. This time should be focused on developing strength and power, and developing strength and power in the way, I guess, that's important for the sport, which is being able to produce force quickly, typically under low or no load, which means the exercise selection and the way they're performed and the intent they're performed at is the most important part. And you can see just based on the first few exercises, there's no intent. Like, that's just chilled. This is pretty chilled. There's no load. Like, that's not a challenging exercise. That's what you give to 60-year-old mums in Pilates. And then a plate set up with 10 pounds, same thing. And then we're into the linebacker taking straight from the NFL Like, I mean, even what they often what they do in the NFL is fucking dog shit too. But I mean, just like this makes no sense in a boxing context or sports context in general, because what are we trying to achieve going over these hurdles laterally and just lifting the knees up and down? Is it to train quote unquote fast feet, which isn't a thing, but regardless, those feet aren't moving very fast if it is. Is it training the ability to move laterally faster? Well, you're moving laterally, but you're not moving fast enough and you're not pushing off hard enough to be able to develop that quality in this. So then, what is doing something like this achieving for the athlete other than just doing work? Especially when in boxing, like, are you ever lifting your leg that high off the floor? I'm not saying that every exercise needs to be specific to what you're doing in boxing, but if you're going to do some lateral movement, why not do lateral shuffles? Why not do banded lateral shuffles? Why not do skater jumps? Things that are going to force intent and also be able to help you produce force faster in that direction. And then we have these funky Bozu ball, I'm going to put in quotation marks, explosive push-ups, because they're not very explosive. Now, the issue with doing it with a Bozu ball is it's unstable. And just from basic understanding that probably you guys watching this do know as well, is you make something unstable, you can't produce as much force because you're trying to stabilize whatever's happening. So if your goal is to be explosive, you have to do it on stable or flat ground. If you're not doing it on stable or flat ground, then you cannot be explosive. And you're essentially shooting yourself in the foot with an exercise like this, which is unfortunate. More front raises. I mean, for boxing, you're already getting a lot of front delt work from the actual training itself. It's doing, 5-pound front raises going to help. I don't know. That might be up to the fighter on that one. And then we have like some pretty dodgy kind of rear delt raises or reverse flies. So because he's flying, I guess, towards the torso, you're getting a little more rhomboid mid-lower trap, which is can often be a good idea too. You're still getting some rear delt, but you're not trying to isolate or target the rear delt like a bodybuilder in this kind of variation, which is nothing wrong with this. This is still a good exercise to do. And more of the plate sit-ups for the abs. All right, what else we got going on? Pull-ups. Nice. Hey, is that another jump? Is that another jumping medicine ball slam? Or if you want to even call it a slam. I think it is. 2 videos in a row now. So if you watch the previous breakdown with Alexander Rakic, he was also doing jumping medicine ball slams. And it doesn't make sense to jump when you're doing your slam. Just because you've left the ground, there's no way to continue producing force into the hands to slam it down. You've already left the floor. Plus, if you're doing medicine ball slams, there's got to be some intent behind it, right? Like there's no... like that ball's been barely bouncing to his stomach afterwards. Because there's just no intent behind it. The goal of a throw is you're trying to break it. That's the cue you need to be thinking in your head, is you want to be able to either put that ball through the ground, through the wall, or break it if you're doing medicine ball throws for that purpose. The only other purpose for doing medicine ball throws is if you're doing, say, extensive or submaximal throws, like circuit-based for conditioning and whatnot. I touched on that in the Mike Tyson video a little while ago. You can go back into that. I still think this is another circuit. So it's pull-ups, and then we're into like alternating dumbbell chest press. But he did incline chest press at the start, and then dumbbell front raises as well. So he's just adding more load, and then dips, some more pressing. But that's in a circuit too. And some pretty sloppy biceps. Is there more to the circuit, or is that it? I think that's it for the circuits. Yeah. And that doesn't make sense as well, right? If this is a circuit, you're doing pull-ups and you're doing biceps in the same circuit, it makes no sense, because then you're fatiguing the biceps for the pull-ups. Then you're doing I'm assuming it's meant to be like a complex, like pull-ups and throws, but that's not happening anyway. And then you're alternating dumbbell bench when you've already done incline squeeze, dumbbell press, plus dumbbell front raises. And then you've got dips in the same circuit too. That doesn't make any sense either, because you're just layering on more pressing and basically you're targeting the same muscle groups. It's just adding more fatigue that you don't need. And look, bicep training, need to do this kind of stuff for boxing, but I mean, that's pretty sloppy. But I feel bad because I pretty much just like shat on this whole video, but again, I'm irrelevant to any of these people, so I'm just some dude on the internet talking about a professional fighter's training. So regardless, what do I know? But if you like this video, please let me know down in the comments. And if there's anyone you want me to break down, let me know as well. Send it to me and I'll happily do a